Hey guys, Trevor here. Welcome to the completely free high ticket dropshipping course, module number 4, going over supplier acquisition. Now, in this module, we'll be going over the following. So, number one, which is going to be how to actually research and find suppliers that we're going to be contacting and securing relationships with so we can actually sell the products on our website. Number two is going to be metrics of these suppliers. So, what type of metrics we want to be looking at in terms of these suppliers. Mainly, with these metrics, we can tell if they are going to be an excellent supplier or some suppliers that may not be as well. But we kind of need a mix of both, but we will talk about that shortly. Next, we're going to talk about how to actually outreach to these suppliers, creating a pitch deck, uploading suppliers to your website, a supplier CRM, and what to do if you're rejected. So this is going to be everything highlighted in this free video. So buckle up, make sure you drop a like down below, and let's hop right into this. So kicking things off with supplier research. So how do we actually find suppliers? So there's 3 major ways. So one is going to be looking at Google Shopping. Number 2 is going to be other e-commerce retailers. And number 3 is going to be big box retailers. So, all right, guys. So let's say we're building a store around fireplaces and we want to look for fireplace suppliers. So we want to go to Google and look for fireplace. We also want to click on shopping so we can go to Google Shopping. So the very first way to look for suppliers is to look on Google Shopping. And the first way is we want to filter products by $1,000. This way we're only looking for products that are high ticket. Therefore, excluding the brands that only have very cheap fireplace. We want to sell the expensive and high quality ones. So we want to scroll all the way down until we get to the brand section inside of Google Shopping. So this is one way out of many to look for brands. So brands right here, such as Majestic, Southern Fireplaces, Superior Fireplaces, Real Flame. So let's say we want to become a dealer for Real Flame. We want to, first of all, create a spreadsheet. And essentially, with the spreadsheet, we want to go to Supplier Research. We want to put the supplier's name. I will leave a link to this exact spreadsheet inside the Google Docs, but I can't edit it on this account. So what I'm going to do is just going to open it up in a Excel. That way it's the same way. It's the same thing. It's just not on Google Sheets. So we click on this. Want to go to Supplier Research. And on this tab, we just want to put the supplier's name. So in this instance, we have Real Flame as one brand that we can potentially contact. So we look up Real Flame. And we want to type in Real Flame right here. And then we want to find the supplier's website. Here's the supplier's website, realflame.com. So we'll go ahead and paste it in there. So this is the supplier's website. The most important part we want to essentially find with the supplier's website is contact information. So we have a phone number right here and an email. So let's go ahead and save that inside the spreadsheet. So phone number. This looks pretty ugly, but bear with me. Phone number, email. Paste in the email. Okay. And then once we have the contact information, we want to look for metrics of these suppliers. We'll come back to these in terms of how to look for more suppliers in a little bit, but here are the metrics of suppliers that we want to look for. First, it's going to be minimum advertised price. This is a very important metric for suppliers. Minimum advertised price means, let's say we are a customer and we're looking for Real Flame fireplaces. That's literally a brand that is being sold. So I'm a customer looking for Real Flame fireplaces, and I see this Real Flame Hillcrest electric fireplace in white. This might actually be okay. This looks like the entire fireplace. So if we click on compare prices from 10 plus sellers, we can see that Wayfair has the same exact item for $564. Target has it for $726. eBay, we really don't want to count eBay because it can be second use or It can be used item, or it could be an auction. So eBay, we don't want to account for. We just want to look for other retailers. So the price is all over the place, but we want to just filter by item price. And we just want to make sure that the lowest price is not out of the ordinary. What this means is like, we can see this same item is sold for $971, but totallyfurniture.com has it also for $500. So in this instance, this supplier may not actually be enforcing MAP. What MAP looks like is, let's say we're looking for, I know one brand that I think enforces MAP a lot better, which is Osaki Massage Chairs. So let's say someone's looking for Osaki Massage Chairs. You can see that this is used, it doesn't count, but all of them are minimum at least $299. This is a example of a supplier that has MAP. The $299 is probably the promotional price, and these guys are just not following the promotion. But suppliers that have highly enforced MAP is a good thing, because the better the enforced MAP, the more aggressive that you can be in terms of advertising, which we will talk about in a future module. Having MAP is also an indicator of a good brand, but it's not always as straightforward, because some brands might not have MAP like RealFlame does, or RealFlame doesn't. So RealFlame does not have MAP. Let me just write that down. No MAP. Okay, so MAP should be no. Some brands like RealFlame may not have MAP or enforced MAP, but they could still have quality products where people will still buy, even if you're not the same price as someone else. MAP just gives us retailers a fair playing field. Like in the Osaki massage chair example, if everyone's selling at $29.99, then you're not being undercut on price. What a lot of Amazon sellers experience is that someone may sell the same exact item for $20, but then tomorrow someone sells it for $18, then $17, $16, and everyone just races down to the bottom and nobody ends up making profit. So MAP kind of protects you as the retailer and the seller against other competitors, meaning everyone has to sell at the same price. They cannot go under. So it just gives you a fair playing field. What that means is that when everyone is selling at the same price, for example, $29.99, then you are not competing on price. Competing on price is not something that you want to do in high-ticket dropshipping. You want to compete on other aspects like better website, better ads, and better customer support, things that you can control. Pricing, you really cannot control other people's pricing. So you want to work with suppliers that have MAP, and generally suppliers with MAP are going to be your better selling brands. Next, we're going to look for branded demand. So we like to use this tool. It's called Uber Suggest. It is a free tool that you can use to find branded demand. We look for keyword research, keyword ideas. Just type in RealFlame. I don't think you need an account. Let's go keyword overview and just search. Yeah, you don't need an account or anything, but we can see that RealFlame fireplaces have 1900 search volume. So we want to put that under branded demand, 1900. This is the amount of people that are looking for RealFlame. The more, the better, but when there's more demand for a brand, there could be more sellers. So a great amount of branded demand is anywhere from 300 and higher, upwards of $3,000 to $5,000 or 3,000 to 5,000 searches per month is where it can be pretty competitive and nobody really makes a ton of sales. So we want to look at the average number of sellers for RealFlame. We can see if we look up RealFlame fireplace, and I'm searching it up as a customer, we can see that most of it says compare prices from 10 plus stores, 10 plus stores, 10 plus stores. So this is a brand that has around 10 to 20 suppliers or sellers. If it has more than 20, it will say more compare prices from 20 plus stores. So this example, this only has 2 stores, but this Walmart clearance is on this, so you probably do not want to count it. So this brand has about 10 to 20 sellers and it has 1900 branded demand. This isn't too competitive at all. Some suppliers have 50 plus sellers. I have plenty of brands that have 50 plus sellers that I still make sales with. But the reason why I'm making sales with them is because I got in early and I'm able to use my advertising data to still stay ahead inside the advertising aspect for that brand. So without getting too complicated, we want to fill out this sheet with as many brands as possible and their contact information, branded demand, and average amount of sellers on Google Shopping before contacting each supplier. So if we go to here, we just taught you how to look on Google Shopping to find brands. Now let's talk about how to look for other e-commerce retailers and look for brands. So we looked up Real Flame fireplaces, and we'll just click on a few ads. So I'm not clicking Bed Bath & Beyond and Wayfair because that is the example that I'm going to talk about for big box retailers. So I'm going to look for more unknown retailers that you probably have not heard of. I'm not sure why that's thing, but we are on Woodland Direct and Electric Fireplaces Direct. So with this brand, I mean, we just clicked on a listing. We looked up Real Flame fireplaces and a Modern Flame fireplace, which this is a brand right here. You can see Modern Flames. So when you are on other e-commerce retailers, we want to look for two things. One, on a product page, it usually has a brand name inside a title, or it can be also hyperlinked under it. Modern Flames is the brand. You can put that in the sheet. We can also look for a brand section, such as this. We click on brands, and boom, we have over on the left more brands. So these are all brands that we can potentially contact and add to our list of potential suppliers that we want to add to our website. So we'll probably just copy paste this, honestly. There's no point of manually doing each one. Something like this doesn't look that great, but this is probably because I'm not using Google Sheets. That's why it's not looking great, but I would just copy each one in there, or just, it doesn't take that long to even write it as well. So Bello chimney free. Now these are probably brands all related to fireplaces because their domain name is electricfireplacesdirect.com. They have fireplace TV stands, but if you just want to look for fireplace brands, you can just search fireplaces, and then probably over here under brand, these are all the fireplace specific brands. Not all of these may be fireplace brands. I know Modern Flames is because we just saw it, but Dimplex is one, Hearth Pro, Napoleon, Muscoco, Real Flame, we have that, Allen Home. These are all brands that we want to add to this list. So that's another way we can find suppliers, is other e-commerce retailers. Now last way is going to be big box retailers. So big box retailers are retailers you probably know of. Wayfair, Bed Bath Beyond, Home Depot, stores like that. So we'll click on Bed Bath & Beyond and Wayfair, since those are the two big box retailers that we see. And then we just want to, we're on this page for fireplaces. We can also, if they have a brand section, not all websites have brand sections depending on how big the website is. Bed Bath & Beyond is a large e-commerce website, so they probably don't have every single brand displayed. So that's fine. We can just look up fireplace, if I can spell it right, fireplace. And then we want to go over to the left, look for brand. And here are even more suppliers that we can add to our list. So open up our list. Let's look for Acme. Ameriwood Home. Obviously, I'm not getting every single one, but just showing you how I would find these suppliers to reach out to. Benzera, Black, Black & Decker, Boston, Cambridge, Carbon Loft, Chloe Lighting. That's probably not a fireplace brand. It's a fireplace screen, so we'll probably not contact that brand. But those are all the fireplaces for Bed Bath & Beyond. But we can do the same thing on Wayfair. Very simple. Just search up the brand, the product that we want to get suppliers for. Just click all indoor fireplaces, and then we will show more filters, brand, and then show all brands. And boom, a ton of brands. Now, the catch with Wayfair is that Wayfair is a large dropshipping store. They've been dropshipping for a long time. But when you're dropshipping for that long, you eventually want to get into making your own products, making your own brand, which is something every e-commerce retailer doing high ticket should look forward to eventually at some point. So Wayfair has a lot of their own brands. Their own brands you probably will not be able to sell. So just know that if you find some brands inside of Wayfair, it could be their own brand, or it can be third-party sellers. Third-party sellers could create their own products. It could just be a manufacturer that doesn't really accept retailers. So just know that anything you add here may not be final in terms of retailers or in terms of suppliers that you can sell. We'll also do Home Depot as well. It's another website, big box retailer, that you can also apply the same strategies with. So we just search up fireplace. Same thing. Let's just click electric fireplaces, and over on the left, brands. Same thing. Very simple. We get all the suppliers. Now, Home Depot doesn't have. They have obviously their own brand, but they don't have as many compared to Wayfair. Wayfair they have a lot of their own brand because they've been around. I don't know. Wayfair, I think, is a bigger company than Home Depot. I might be wrong on that, but Wayfair just has more brands than Home Depot does. So Home Depot, most of these brands you probably are able to get in with and secure as a supplier. So get as many suppliers added to your Google Sheet as possible. Of course, there's a note section in case find something interesting with one supplier, but that's essentially how you'll be able to find suppliers. Now, the metrics that we talked about: minimum advertised price, branded demand, the competition. In the beginning, you do not want to overanalyze brands before contacting them. Get as many as you can on board as possible before choosing which one you want to devote most of your budget to. If a brand has map, it usually is a good indication that they care about their brand, because if a supplier does not have map, then people can sell a fireplace at $1,000, or they can sell it at $500. It really ruins the brand's reputation, because think of it as if you were the brand. Do you want other people selling your products at $500 versus $1,000? Like, the customer is going to buy the cheaper one, obviously, and it's just going to make people think that your brand is lower quality. If you have every single retailer selling at $1,000, it makes your brand look more luxury, because they're not going to find it cheaper anywhere else. It makes your brand, in the eyes of the customer, more valuable, or more luxury in that instance. So how to outreach to suppliers? Calling suppliers is your biggest edge that you have over other retailers that are just bulk emailing to suppliers. Do not just bulk upload the suppliers' emails and pitch them on becoming a retailer. You will not get in with many at all. The reason behind this is because a lot of other people are doing the same thing. So the only way that you can stand out, especially in a competitive space like fireplaces, is by calling the suppliers. So here are some general tips in order to secure suppliers over the phone. You want to be professional. Do not be rude, and present the value that you provide to them. So a general opener that I like to use when I am talking to suppliers is, "Hey, this is Trevor from your brand, your store name." So in this instance, My Medical Direct, for example. and we're interested in becoming a dealer for real flame fireplaces. Would you know who would be the best person to speak with regarding this? And this is the exact script that I use to contact suppliers. It works every single time because you're asking the gatekeeper, you're interested in becoming a dealer, but who should I speak with? They might give you a person, they might redirect you. That doesn't really matter too much because you will just essentially repeat the same thing once you're redirected to the decision maker. You'll just ask them, hey, my name's Trevor. I'm from My Medical Direct. We're interested in becoming a dealer for real flame fireplaces. Can you let me know how we can become a dealer for your company? So something like that. You just want to be professional. Don't be rude. And another thing that I want to put on here real quick is you do not want to mention dropshipping. Dropshipping to them seems unprofessional. This is the ultimate business model that we're doing anyways. They know it's dropshipping, and you know it's dropshipping, but don't say the word dropshipping at all. The reason behind this is very simple. Dropshipping is a word that a lot of gurus will say, and to them it seems unprofessional. So don't mention dropshipping at all unless they already mention it to you. They say, "Oh, are you interested in dropshipping?" Then it's completely fine to say, "Oh, yes, we are, but we're also looking to eventually take in some inventory of our own." Something like that. But dropshipping, don't ever mention it first. It's fine if you say it after they say it. So if they ask you, what are you trying, how do you want us to work together? Oh, we want to sell our products, or sorry, we want to sell your products on our website. And they might ask you, how should the fulfillment do? Do you want to buy inventory up front, or how do you want to do that? So you would just tell them, we're interested in selling your products on our website, but when we get an order, we want to send it to you and have you guys ship it from your warehouse directly to the customer. They might say, "Oh, like dropshipping." So, and then you can reply yes, because that's essentially what it is. But you don't want to say the word dropshipping at all because I also just spelled dropshipping wrong, which is hilarious. But just so you know, don't ever say dropshipping first unless the supplier already asks you specifically and mentions the word dropshipping. So once you're redirected to the person, just speak with them and kick up a nice conversation. It's really not something you should be afraid of. It's actually a lot easier than if you were to sell a service to someone because this is a mutual beneficial relationship. You sell their products, they earn money, you earn money, boom. It's you both earn money, and ultimately the suppliers are going to be your business partners in this business model. They are your backbone of your business. You do all the marketing up front, and they are your back end. They ship, pack, deliver all your orders, all for you. So it's a mutual beneficial relationship. So don't be afraid that what you're doing is like trying to sell them a service. You're really not. This is much easier than if you were to like cold call someone and sell them on agency services or create a website or something like that. So it's definitely a lot easier. So if it's your first time speaking on the phone, don't be afraid. After a few reps, you'll just be very easy. So continue to follow up until you reach this decision. So after you talk with a decision maker, they'll probably ask you to email over some information. Go ahead and do that along with your pitch deck. So let's just talk about the pitch deck right now. So the pitch deck is essentially a presentation to your supplier, letting them know about your business model. So for example, this is one for My Medical Direct, which is a store around medical equipment. So something like this, you will be able to view this inside the Google Docs, inside the video description, but something like this, very simple. You can even use the same content even, but as more people copy it, then you're not really standing out in the market. So I would highly recommend you don't copy it and just use a general idea behind this pitch deck and make your own. I recommend using Canva. It's free. This template was also free, I believe, and you can make one very quickly. So once you create a pitch deck, we want to email them with the pitch deck you're pitched. So inside the email, when you're emailing them, you just want to say, hey, this is Trevor from My Medical Direct. We're interested in becoming a dealer. We found that your brand could be a potential good fit for our website. We would like to work with you in order to distribute your products. Could you let me know how we can proceed to become a dealer for RealFlame, in this instance, the supplier's name? So something very simple like that. And when you're creating a pitch deck, we want to contact them initially with the first pitch deck, and then we want to follow up in 3-day increments, 3 days later, 3 days later, 3 days later, until you are either you reach a decision or they didn't reply. Then you want to call them again, let them know that you contacted them over the phone and you followed up a few times already over email. If they could just look at the email and just give you a reply, or essentially a decision. And then you want to follow up 3 more times in 3-day increments. Do not feel like you are annoying them, because you're not. 3 days is plenty of time between each email follow-up. So uploading suppliers after you secure them is very straightforward. There's 2 ways to upload suppliers or upload products from a supplier. One is going to be manually, which is going to be one by one. Best when it's not a ton of products. Depending on the supplier, there might be hundreds of products or just 10 to 20 products. You can also use bulk upload. I recommend and use StockSync. It's an excellent tool. There probably is a learning curve that you may need to learn in order to use StockSync, but once you figure it out, it's very simple, and you can bulk upload hundreds of products at once. Remember, with product uploads, it's not about speed, but it's about speed, but not sacrificing product listing quality. And lastly, or second to lastly, we have Supplier CRM. So we want to use Trello for this. Trello is a tool to keep track of leads. Just sign up with Trello, and essentially, we just want to make a simple column called such as called, email, follow-up 1, follow-up 2, follow-up 3. And essentially, we just want to track the suppliers inside Trello, so we know when we contacted them, what they replied with, any comments, put that inside Trello, so we can keep track of each lead and eventually follow up and close each and every single one of them. Now, this is the last one. What should you do if you're rejected? So do not be discouraged. This is very normal. Follow up in 3 to 6 month increments until you close them. Do not feel like you're too pushy, because this is plenty of time to show them that you have sales with other vendors. An example, I just want to share this tweet with you over on my Twitter. So I closed one of the biggest suppliers in the furniture niche. So this is the initial contact over 2 years ago, back in 2021. And then September 29th, finally closed them after 2 years. So do not hesitate to follow up in 3 to 6 month increments until you close them. Every single supplier can be closed, but each one can just take different time frames to close them. Usually the ones that are hard to close are better, and the ones that just let everyone in aren't going to be your best selling brands. So eventually want to secure them as a vendor for your business. You just want to be persistent and constantly follow up, showing them that you're interested still in becoming a authorized retailer for them. And you may need to work your way up depending on how many dealers are already selling them. What I mean by this is that if a brand has hundreds of dealers, or if a brand has hundreds of dealers selling their products, it may be pretty easy to just get approved for them. But if they only have like 5 dealers and they're a very, very well-established brand, they might not even let you in until you can show that you can actually bring in sales for them. They want to work with serious businesses at the end of the day. So that is it pretty much for supplier acquisition, part of module 2 inside the free high-ticket dropshipping course. If you took away any value, make sure to drop a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in module 5.